Time to take a break. We're gonna go for the one. It's got 1 gram of sugar. 220 calories. When I'm hungry, it's good to go. Alright. Apple is about a mile off on this one. On that address. They're about a mile off. They're saying it's over here, and I'm on Google, and they're saying it's the other way. Sorry about that. A lot of deer over this way. Alright, so Google's saying it's that stop sign. It's not. So they're both wrong. We're gonna move on to another address. I was speeding big time, whoever it was. Figure out this thing right here. Okay, maybe it wasn't. I didn't know it was 50. Stupid to go that fast with all the deer and stuff, though. But yeah, I guess it's 50. It says 50 right there. Kitty alert. See if it's domestic. Nah, it's probably a stray cat. Would you buy furniture off a man named Unpainted Huffines? Like he's gonna huff the. Would you buy furniture from a man named or would you buy furniture from a place called Unpainted Huffines? I never understood that joke, but I guess because it sounds like huff. Would you buy furniture from a place called Unpainted Huffines? But Apple doesn't want to work with Kia.
Then turn left onto Mustang Drive.
Because Kia stands for Killed in Action.
Turn left onto Mustang Drive.
Or Kia, they got not a lot of money, but not as much as Hyundai or Audi or Mercedes or all the other ones. They don't want to work with Kia because Kia has less money. And Kia's trying to move up. Is that the issue? All right, looks like we've got something right here. At least the iPad helps. Yeah.
The destination is on your left. Arrived.
Yeah, the front porch is on. But they have an ADT sign. But the equipment's not installed properly. You can tell right there. Look. Yeah, there you go. That means it's not installed properly. But it looks like it's maybe trying to be on the way. I'm gonna go ahead and knock anyway. Yeah, it should be though. The sign's a telltale. The sign's a telltale sign. But look, no service. So that's just the sign. Okay. And we're gonna go with again. Good. next one, 700 feet for the next door. The destination thing, they need to do a little bit quicker. Like, your destination's coming up. It's gonna be this house right over here. Sorry to say, but this is one creepy looking house. Is that not creepy looking? What's cool is you can prepay for the hot dog. I'm going to probably get a jalapeno one. Usually they do about 260 calories or 270. I don't know how much the bread is though, but I'd probably say another 100 probably, so total 370. Yeah, that's a lot of it in there. Usually if these are about empty, I usually take one of them. Because they have plenty of it on this one. Let's see. Yeah, it's almost frozen. Work on this stuff. There we go. Probably go in there with probably one jalapeno. Probably some probably about like, yeah. It's probably like that. More. I like to pick off the pickles. Here we go. Now, the important part. Napkins. Oh! They didn't provide me a bag. All right. Well, nothing today. So the hat trick disappeared. I was like, wow, I once got a hat trick, and I completely, the most I ever got at the bank, whenever I was sold for the bank, I sold bank products and services, like checking accounts and services at the bank. I got 10 accounts in one day. I had to skip all snacks and breakfast and all. Well, I might have had a breakfast, but I skipped all these snacks or lunch or anything, and I just stayed to it. I was on a roll, and I kept that roll going on for like 10 consecutive sales, and I was like one of the top salesmen in Dallas for this bank that's in Kroger's and Walmart's. They're basically First National Bank Texas. They're not First National Bank of Texas. They're First National Bank Texas is one of the main names that they use in the store. They're a convenience bank. But I'm in a different thing now. I left. they kind of sent me in a way. I mean, I had to go from that bank. And I've done a little bit of door-to-door since, but they didn't do door-to-door. They did other stuff. It was aisles. They did aisles, shopping aisles, like shopping in the frozen section. We'd approach you, or you're shopping in the buying a beer or something. We'd approach you, or you're buying ribs, something like that. So eventually, I did some door-to-door, and then now fire alarm burglary for ADT. Okay, what I learned today was your first disposition is important, but it's important to keep the disposition one tag each. So don't, when I was doing it, I was like, oh, I'm at the house again, I'll just disposition again. That's right, but use the same disposition. Either change it or just keep it the same and just re-hit it. So there's only one circle for each house. Because if you choose it as a not interested, it can go back as a go back on top of the not interested. If you remember any of that. And that means you go back to a not interested. You don't want to do that. You can also check activity. The activity will say, okay, I dispositioned this at 2, or I dispositioned this at 3, or I dispositioned this at 4, or I dispositioned this at 5. That's when you start your go backs. You do reconnaissance at first. So you start reconnaissance, let's say maybe 12 or 1, say 1 o'clock. You can do it early. You can also go late. And then you do your dispositions and your reconnaissance and get those go backs, because they're only concerned with go backs. There's not moved in yet, and there's nothing you can do because they're not moved in. So why go back to a house that's not even, it's not even no one there. Your go backs mean it's a possibility. They're interested, maybe they're there. There's a car, maybe you didn't talk to them yet. And you see the activity to see, oh, I dispositioned this go back at 2 o'clock, or I dispositioned this go back at 3 o'clock, or I dispositioned this go back at 4. Then you can return maybe at 5 or 6. You have reconnaissance time, 1 to 5, and then 5 to 8. That's whenever it's go time. You can even hit go time between 1 to 5 if in reconnaissance. Reconnaissance means you're scoping out what you're going to do, the circle that you're making, the pattern that you're making with go backs. You can set appointments. And that sometimes you want to wait. Meaning you made an agreement, you almost got the full lead. So what do you need for the lead? Well, the important information, right? You eventually want an account. So what do you need to create a lead? You need, of course, all their information and their agreement. And that can be sent to them through, even through email. You can even bounce it off their phone. So I've had one where they slammed the door on me, but they wanted it. They were just in a hurry. And it was a sell. It was on the board, but then they canceled when the installer showed up. That was part of my hat trick. So you create your pattern in reconnaissance, then you go back and you start doing the go backs. You try to get as many of those, and then you go back to the go backs and you realize, oh, there's no one there, and then you turn that go back into no one moved in yet. That'll be like this. If you went to the go back and there's still shades drawn, the car's still out front for whatever reason, but there's no lights on, you just want to make that not moved in yet. And you can also check other signs to see if they're not moved in yet. They can be like, maybe like not much furniture, maybe a few boxes, and they're still trying to get moved in. I got some tea. It takes a lot of work. The whole go back thing, really on those hat tricks, I was mostly using Redfin. Redfin shows all the houses on the market. A lot of different types of people use the Redfin. They use it for like real estate, all kinds of stuff. But it shows how much the house is worth and basically when it's sold. And you want to be in about a 7-day period. You could come back after 3 days or so. You could even come back maybe after like 4 days. You can even try 2 days. And sometimes they're in there they got the U-Haul out front and they're trying to fit everything in there and they're like, oh, okay, let's just go ahead and get the alarm system too. But you got to find someone with agreement, and that immediately will create a lead. You get the viable information from them. The information that you would use, like, if you're selling a car, you run credit and all that kind of stuff. And you can get bank account. If they do bank account, and they do save 10%, but they usually don't. I don't know if they can do a prepaid card yet. They might be able to. They probably can do a prepaid card. I'll have to ask them that. They mean like they have a Walmart Visa card. Well, like a prepaid MasterCard that has like $500 on it or something like that. They probably could put the whole thing on that. They can do that. I'm pretty sure. They can do a PayPal card. I think they can do a PayPal card, like a Chime card, things like that. Sometimes people use cards like that for stuff like this. They set the money aside and I got 500 on that card. I'll just put it on that one. We ran across a district attorney. He was real interested, but his thing was not right now. Then I did the manager close, and I called my manager. He goes, listen, I know this gimmick. I know this standard. Not gimmick. What do you call it? I don't remember. I know this tactic is what he called it. It's pretty smart. I was like, well, this is what we're supposed to do. And I told him that, you know, this is just to inform you that we're going to do an extension and try our very best to get you part of the program because we do care, you know. No, not right now. Bye. It was district attorney. He seemed pretty interested though. Anyway, we gotta pick up food and drop it off at your doorstep for right now.
And that Spectrum TV combines all your favorite streaming apps with live TV at no extra cost. But that one is actually true. You get over $100 worth of streaming apps like HBO Max, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Peacock, AMC Plus, and more, included with live TV at no extra cost. It's only the way TV should be. It's only everything. Learn more at SpectrumTV.com.
I guess that's like that overpowering bass thing or something. Trying to find a leeway over here on this. It's going to be rushed too much. Goodness gracious.
Television and commercials. Sign up today at syncgiant.com.
Turn left onto Marine Creek Parkway.
So one guy tells me, he's like, I've got 2 thermostats. I was like, well, yeah, you want to get our smart thermostats? Started to go for the sign up. All right, let me get the first thing, but I don't want it. You just told me you had 2 thermostats, so we can give you the 2 thermostats. We could put you in an automation plan. It's actually cheaper than, since you already have the doorbell camera, let's integrate the doorbell camera and put you in automation. You're paying like a few bucks more, a few bucks less. No, I don't want it. But you just mentioned the 2 thermostats. Yeah, I have 2 thermostats. He just wanted to tell me that he had 2 thermostats because that's basically what he did. I started signing him up. I was like, hey, what's the first name? No, I don't want it. Why did you mention the 2 thermostats? Well, we've got smart thermostats that can save your whole house in the middle of a fire. It shuts off when the heat starts to overwhelm everything and everything goes haywire. The air conditioner usually would kick in on a regular thermostat. With us, it shuts the central air down and your house doesn't go up in flame in 7 minutes. I don't want it. I got 2 thermostats. I was like, is this code for something? So that was, I did get through this is Lake Worth. Lake Worth's a nightmare, but it's not as bad as some other places. like White Settlement, for example. But, or if people talk about Euless being bad. Lake Worth is tough, but I got through 3 presentations and got into a home. But the other guy said he wasn't listening to me. He goes, I'm not listening to you. I'm not here right now. But I'm like, I'm talking to you. It's like, but I'm not here right now. I was like, I understand. So the wife seemed really interested. And then once I got to the husband, who was in the backyard working, I just went into the home and looked at his thermostats and his equipment. Anyway. So, you know, so I just kind of basically, I guess, let myself out of that one. But I guess I could have turned around and said, listen, I'll send you a digital business card, just give me your information. I probably should have done that, but I did put him down as a go back. So he kind of rushed me out a little bit. And I was going to do, I think I did a few manager rebuttals, or really what it is a manager close, you know, whenever you're at the end of the presentation, but the managers didn't pick up. They must have been busy today. So there's 2 that I can call. It's the lead guy, and then the other manager. It's more like kind of like a trainer. One's a district manager, and one's the kind of like the owner manager. Or not, he's not the owner, but he's like the main manager. There's like the head manager, and then there's the district manager. So I do the district first, and then go to the head if the other one doesn't pick up. But I don't know. Oh, and then there was another guy that was interested too. Oh yeah, they can't do copyright on this one.
I don't care if you never come I don't mind if you just
he
keep on rolling.
Listened to the whole presentation,
and
he seemed, you know, somewhat interested on a maybe. And so on a maybe, we go over the 3 tactics. So on a maybe, we're like, listen, I'd be a disservice to you if I did not inform you the benefits of this program. It's a lifetime guarantee, 6 months back guarantee, money back guarantee. And then of course, what's interesting is if you do your part and arm the system, and we don't do our part and deter the thief, then we will cover your homeowner's insurance policy deductible up to $500. And that's one of our good benefits there, other than the moving package one. If you're with us for 13 months, I did run across a person that's paying Vivid an empty house. So he's like, okay, well, let me talk to, he was a one-legger. So he was like, let me talk to my wife. I said, okay. So right then I put him as a go-back and got his information. So I did secure his information, almost like an appointment. It was like a go-back and appointment almost. And I could easily have put him down as an appointment, but I wanted to go ahead and close it. So what I did is I waited till 7 for the wife, and then I did a whole presentation, not whole presentation, but a pretty good presentation to the doorbell camera, because they can talk to you through their camera. And so I told her all the information through the doorbell camera, but I said the major difference between our doorbell camera and the one I'm talking in is ours actually call the police. Yours just talks to me. You could actually talk to me while I'm, you know, taking stuff out of your house. But if you got the police coming at that time, it changes the situation, you know, that kind of thing. So she still is up in the air. So a couple of go-backs. I didn't do any appointments because an appointment is almost a close. And we're just coming back to probably get the credit card or something like that, you know. Can't hit that with a copyright. And then also, I did get another scene of Your Love with Paid Training written. A pretty good one, pretty good chunk. What I call the rising action of the first, because you can have more than 3 acts in a movie. So it's the rising action of the first, maybe climax. You can also have multiple climaxes in a screenplay. But it's the first little segment. You could say that your love with paid training starts off with the climax, because he finds her on the couch. That scene's good. The next one he's doing a door-to-door thing. And the third one is he's more of like struggling with kind of like dialogue, and then he has a conversation with Lisa. Now this goes into 2 different times. So it opens in the future, and he's living in the future, remembering the past. So when he finds her on the couch, that's actually going in the past. Now, whether they get it or not, they would eventually get it over time. All right, on our way, 2 miles for the pickup. This is going to be food. It's known as Maggie'sR&R. We're on our way. It's right off West Magnolia. There is one of my favorite restaurants, Benito's, right there. It's a pretty good restaurant. It's all authentic Mexican food. This used to be the Spiral Diner. Now it's Maggie'sR&R. King of Pop. Cool. We're gonna be listening to King of Pop that is not copyrighted. But I did listen to some rock and roll music on this one, and we may have we'll probably be okay. I may listen to this one through. I always keep all my shows at least 24 hours on a backup for iMovie. At least 24 hours, so that's not gonna get a copyright though. It's original, but it is a King of Pop. It's Michael Jackson. This right here was the second spot for Circle Theater. It's on West Magnolia. And the theater was way up here. So any scenery that they had to use for the show, they had to put in an elevator up to the 3rd floor. And I met a lady up there when I was doing North Pole Nightmare. I played Monty the Mountie. And I would like go on stage literally, and like I would like trip like this, you know, and I would always almost fall over because this was blocked, and I was kind of a klutz, and I'd be like, I'm a Monty like my daddy, we both look good in red. Sorry about that. I mean, get in front of you, or you get in front of me, sorry. But yeah, and so the lady up there in the dressing room had freaking met Seinfeld on a college campus. And this is a true story. She has blonde hair. I think she might have had a lazy eye. I could be wrong about that, but I think she might have had a little bit of a lazy eye. But she was really, really hot. She was really hot chick. Nice body and stuff like that. I always talked to her backstage. I was like putting on my t-shirt. I had like a t-shirt underneath. I wore like basically a white t-shirt underneath my costume and stuff. And I'd also wear it like for my regular clothing. She said Seinfeld did the same. He'd wear like an undershirt. She knew Seinfeld. I don't know the campus, so, but she remember talking to him, and he said, you know what, I'm quitting all this, I'm going to do stand-up, and I'm going to start a show on NBC. He actually told her that, and he actually did it, so it's pretty cool. I love the King of Pop. Digging the soccer vibe. I'm trying to figure out why they do this. So they're gonna get a drink carrier. I'm not in the same page, or I'm not on the same page as what they're. Am I just supposed to kind of carry this? I do have one in my trunk, so I'm waiting. All right, we scored. We got the drink carrier. There we go. Yeah, you gotta have these drink carriers, or it could be a complete disaster. This is also not good. It takes up too much space in the carrying thing, but it'll still work anyway. There we go. Alright, sorry I had to do several cuts in the middle of this take. Okay, nice crowd. Not too bad. They're not booing. As long as they're not booing. With me, they're usually laughing. When I've done a few live shows with the guitar, but I do get laughter, and I don't try. I played some Smashing Pumpkins one time. I don't think they laughed at that. There was an older crowd, or like hippie crowd, out in Hip Pocket. They do the thing called the back. Oh man, I'm trying to think what do they call it. I know what the word back is in it. Back door? No, it's not back door. It's not back porch. It's not backstage. I just know the word back is in it. It's not back house. It's a back door. It's something. They originally didn't have a name for it. It was just a back patio kind of thing, but it's back. I guess back door. I don't know. The stage is like a circular stage outdoor, and then over on the side they have barbecue and the ticket booth, and then they have like this place for musicians to play. I think they call it the back door. Yeah, just the back door for musicians or something. I don't know. They have a name for it. Yeah, the Eric Clapton is amazing. This Promises, that version this is the vinyl one on SoundCloud. There is a place over here that's basically a rent house, okay? And to see the place, and a lot of times they're duplexes, sometimes they're not, you have to show your ID. Okay, it's further down. It's gonna be through this trailer park. You have to show your ID at this. It's almost like a doorbell camera. Okay, so it's not right here. I gotta find it through here. Oh, that's Isabel. This is correct. And you have to show the ID at like a camera. Then they let you in. I guess they give you a code and you can walk around. This is a code that they give out. And then you can walk around, look at it, whatever. I was told when I called them that there is an office you can go to in Dallas that runs this rent house. They're like a company. They have a website and stuff. Then you go to Dallas, and then I guess you give them the money, and I guess they give you the code. So it's done with smart lock. And I think it could be down there. I'm not 100% on where it is. I've seen the photos online, but that's risque to me because what about the code doesn't go through? You know, you're like, what? Because a key, you have a key. You're like, oh, the key doesn't work. Well, let's jimmy this thing to get in because they gave me the key. You could show the key. You could show the key to the police, or you could show the key that they gave you. You're going to get in with that key because it's a key. You're like, this is the key they gave me. I'm going to get the freak in. But jimmying, it might be like that one. Jimmying a smart lock is not exactly something you can do, you know? Does that make sense? Am I making sense here? Because you kick in a door with a smart lock, that's gaining entry. That's like a breaking and entering, even though you gave them the money. And then of course, what I do is I would want to look at the lease and all that stuff, you know. So I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they're like, okay, we'll give you the money and then we'll give you the code, you know, or give you the money, and then we'll give you the lease papers. You could probably still get in on the lease papers. Now, this goes on all day long in New York. Okay, they have a major problem with it, with landlords in New York. What happens in New York? This is the state of New York, and it's in New York and New York City, and it's outside New York. It's all over New York. It's in all the papers, articles, YouTube posts. Cash Gordon may talk about it. A lot of YouTubers talk about it. What happens is the landlord finds out that there's someone living in their property that either created their own lease, and they may have had to create their lease because of scams, because people will use other people's property as a scam, as a front, to get their money and try to get them in. It's kind of almost happened to me until I'm aware of it. Facebook has some problems with it too. So they will create their own lease papers, write it up themselves. I don't know if they notarize it. They might. And basically kick in the door and move in and plant smart locks. And so what does the landlord do? Because that's their property. They go and try to seize it, and guess who goes to jail? The landlord does. For what's called false eviction. It happens. It's crazy. It happens all the time. It's in New York. It's a major case. And there's these landlords going like away with handcuffs on. And the people there are basically living there. And then when the police arrive, they show them their paperwork, which is their lease paper that they created. All over New York City. It's crazy. So they're not only duping the landlord, they're moving into a place really at no charge and putting their own smart locks on it, where they're the only ones that have the key. And the landlord goes in, the landlord gets arrested and goes to jail. Not as mean, not as lean, but still a Marine. Huh. All right. Okay, we got 2, Zalot and Serious Pizza, 1023, 1.8. It's a pretty good one. How it probably goes down in the New York scam, where the lease person, the person that's renting, creates their own lease papers, whether they get ripped off by someone else and they have to create their own lease papers because they're using their duplex or their house as a possible renter's house, okay? And what they do is they create their own papers, they kick in the door, they replace the door with smart locks, and they're good to go. That's where they're living. So when the landlord shows up, they either have their own alarm system, it could be with any company, or they just call the police. They're like, hey, this landlord's trying to, and when the police show up, guess who goes to jail? The landlord does. Because it happens every day. The landlord goes to jail. And the landlord's like, what's going on? The cop's like, look, I don't care. You obviously are on the outside. This guy's on the inside. You're trying to kick the door in. You're going to jail. You can call yourself a landlord, whatever you want. You see how it works? Because here and in New York, you're still breaking what's known as the last castle law. There's a last castle law. And you'd be breaking it as a landlord. So what it comes down to is when you're in, you're in. So the guy that I ran in today that had the Vivint contract with the alarm system is not into his current house. He has 2 houses. He has 2 mortgages. He puts that alarm system in his empty house. The house with no furniture, I don't even know if they have running water in the empty house or whatever it is, but it has an alarm system, so he knows immediately to do something. Or the cops, well, even with Vivint or ADT, especially with ADT, they will respond to that, and they will handle the issue as they would handle it, however they do it. They train this stuff and change procedure and policy every day on how they handle a break-in, and that's wrong too. So it's about the time. It's how much time goes by after the break-in.
Because if they don't have the alarm systems and things like that, and these are landlords, and listen, the landlord doesn't need to respond. They can get killed or they can go to jail for trying to. It's like almost like carousing. They see it as almost like carousing. Carousing means like you're at a bar, you're like, hey, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Just like what Shia LaBeouf went through. La, la, I don't care, you're a mom, and that, boom, bam, poop, bam, carousing, they all go to jail. They almost see it that way, but it's not exactly that way. Because the person that's inside's asleep in their sleeping bag or maybe their new bed, and they're trying to live, and the landlord's in there trying to get his way with the money, that landlord will go to jail. Okay? Because that person's in there. Yeah, they'll work the money out. And listen, the cop, the police officer, they're not necessarily on the side of money. These guys have to budget. I come across them, I talk to them. They have to budget. They're not just shelling out a bunch of money from the state. They're not all like Ethan Hawke in Brooklyn's Finest, you know, where he's taking money out of a washing machine from a drug deal that's gone bad or whatever. And I don't think that character had a lot of money, but he needed it to get out of his house because it had black mold and he didn't want to die. So he kills these drug dealers and he goes into this, you know, washing machine and finds all this money and he gets shot and killed because he's trying to get ahead. The cops understand the thing about money and they understand the landlord wants their money, but the landlord will go to jail if the landlord's trying to kick in the door. Don't disagree with me on this. This is true in all 50 states. They're going to side with that person that's trying to survive and have shelter. Because listen, especially in New York, you can die from the cold, especially Canada. In Canada, there's no questions asked. They don't even do that kind of stuff in Canada. They don't mess around. They all work together because the cold will kill them all. As they're trying to get settled in the house or whatever, you know, they're knocking on the door, they'll die of the cold. It'll kill you in 5 minutes when it's negative 10 or negative 15 degrees. And it gets cold in New York too. So they arrest the landlord. Here we think kind of backwards, you know. We're like, no, it's the landlord going there with a gun and kill him. No, the landlord could possibly get the death penalty for that. It's over property, you know. So they get mad. Let's see, these landlords flip out on the smart lock thing where they lose their property. They lose their freaking property trying to be a landlord. It's very difficult. You got to get some kind of alarm system. And listen, all the landlords here that rent stuff out, none of them get it. They don't want to get involved in it. They just go by Scout's honor, and a lot of them end up losing their property. Now I got my driver loyalty program card from Shylock. This guy's originally from Vietnam. Cool. What Arlen doesn't realize is he's lucky. He's fortunate. He counts his blessing. I know he's from Brooklyn, but he had a rent house out in Irving, Texas that he rented out to us. And Arlen Roth is lucky that we paid him on time the entire year that we were there. My wife was pregnant with the third baby when she got on her hands and knees and scrubbed the place clean, and we moved out to give his property back to him. He's lucky because he could have a renter there that tells him, you know, it's mine. We could still be there today. And if he tried anything violent, he'd go to jail. Same thing is we could have changed it to smart locks and just came and go as we pleased and put cameras everywhere, you know, and not paid him anything after the 12th month because the bank didn't work with us for us to gain the property. But we did not do that. We paid on time. We left on time. Was I mad? Did I call him Shylock? Yeah, I did. And I feel bad about it. I mean, Shylock was seen as an enemy in Merchant of Venice. He was seen as an enemy. But should I have called him Shylock? No. But hey, listen, I gave him the money that he needed, and he didn't come down on the price with the banks. My dad said, well, he could have sold the whole place to you for a penny. It was his property. But no, he didn't come down on price, and we didn't get it. But it could have had a septic problem anyway. The insurance companies, while in the history of the house that's in Irving, it did fail on septic problems. So not all the insurance companies wanted to cover that particular house. So if we did get in and we had septic problems, that's thousands and thousands of dollars, and your place smells like pig dung. Anyway, I got to pick up Serious Pizza. But I know you're not Shylock. I know you're a brother of Christ. so serious. Oh yeah, about the what?
Let you know. It was nice seeing you.
Yeah. I get you, dudes. Yeah. Oh yeah. What did I talk to you about?
It was about the Jaguar reptilians, about them controlling the world.
About who?
It was about the Jaguar reptilians, about.
Oh, the dragon reptilians.
The Jaguar reptilians, how the Zionists controlling the world, how
they're trying to control the world.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Freemasons, baby. Yeah. Well, listen. I'll tell you one thing, man. Like Apple. Apple's controlling the world. Look what's in my hand. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. He thinks the dragons are controlling the world or something. I don't know, he thinks some organization is controlling the world or something like it. If anything, it's Apple, you know. That's a 30-inch, the 24-inch, and the 18-inch. Craziness. So that's it?
Yes.
Okay. This is the smallest. That's 18. This is extra, and this is $40 pizzas right here. This is the smallest pizza. All right, this is the smallest pizza, which is 18. It goes up to 30, and the 30 is $40 a piece, which is huge. I don't even know how I'd be able to carry it. All right, pizza on the way. The 30-inch is the largest. It's $40 a piece. What I'm carrying is an 18-inch. Then it goes, I think, 24 is medium. They specialize in catering, man. That place is a lot of pizza. Even if you get the 18-inch, that's an incredible amount of pizza. But the 30-inch is enormous. I don't even know how you would carry that. So they're a serious pizza place right there. Very serious. There's a real good chance that Arlen is a Christian, even though I called him Shylock, and I'll tell you why. The reason why is because at the end, Shylock got in trouble by the king for what he was trying to do, and Antonio and all that stuff. He wanted a pound of flesh. He wanted basically his revenge. He wanted what was owed to him. He wanted what he felt was his, and the king didn't think that was right for him to take a pound of flesh. So he said, listen, you devote your life to Christ or we'll take everything from you. So he eventually went kind of ate crap and flipped out, and then he devoted his life to Christ. So I would probably say, yes, Arlen would have to be a Christian, It'd have to be. But he was our landlord for a while. We paid him through Bank of America. I'm going to go around this way over here. And so I told him, you got the smallest pizza. He thought it was, okay, he disappeared. He's pretty funny. I gave him the serious pizza. He got the Zala. Whoa, we gotta switch that. I caught him right over here at the last minute. That's $40 for the pizza he was running off with. Yeah, he just got a small pizza Zala. I got him though. I got him. Well, that's a $40 pizza that he was running off with. I don't know what the Zollet was. The Zollet was probably, I don't know, maybe 20. So he was getting an extra $20, but I got him at the corner. I don't know if I got all the Parmesan, but at least I got the pizza back. I've done it before on the pizza ones. They do 2 pizza ones. It's like a 50-50. But remember, it's 100% in marriage. I think so what makes an actor is you're married to that work, They know how to do it, though. But dang, I was like, man, that was a smooth little drop-off. Wrong drop-off. Yeah, you got to remember you got 2 going on. There's maybe a way to do that. You need to figure it out whenever you got to prep. You have to prep before you do it. Yeah, so I'm sitting there telling him, man, these are the smallest 2 pizzas. He only got 1 pizza in Zala. These are the smallest 2 pizzas that they have. And he got the smallest Zala pizza probably. And he only got 1. He didn't say anything. till he's almost out. Almost got it. Okay, so what it is at the bottom, you have to scroll up to see that it says Serious Pizza at the bottom. It actually hides. So when you do the delivery and you just know you need to scroll up and boom, you look down, you got like a 100% chance is how it is. It's not really 50-50. So it's like, whoa, that's wrong. You can't be 50-50. So you're like, whoa, hang on. And then I see him. He's over there running with those 2 pizzas. I wish I could have got that video. And I'm like, yo, hey, yo, that you got the Zalock pizza. You got the 1 Zalock pizza. You're running off with my 2 serious pizzas. And I was able to catch him. He's like, oh yeah, you're right. I didn't get 2 pizzas. I was like, okay. So he gave it back to me. He didn't have to. That would have been it. You can't do that, but you can correct it. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you this right here. I'm pretty sure he got all the Parmesan. He said he didn't, but I was like, where did all the Parmesan go? It's like, I stuffed a bunch of Parmesan in it, and Parmesan and pepper. And he's like, I didn't take any of the Parmesan and pepper. So it's probably he switched the 2. You know, I hope he didn't reach in there and grab a piece. That would suck. No, he wasn't munching when I showed up. I just realized I was like, that's the wrong pizza. That's a $40 order. You got the 20. I'm assuming it's probably a $50 order, more like it. And he got like a $30 order. Yeah, he thought it was funny, and I told him and the cop what happened. They're both kind of smiling at me. I was like, yeah, that's what happened. He almost ran off with your pizza. Really nice lady. She's a palm reader. I used to deliver pizza to her all the time. Really nice lady, though. I can't think of her name, though, for some reason. On one of the vlogs, I say her name. I talked to her about my werewolf screenplay. She believes in shape-shifting energy. And I went, oh, they took a light off on the park. There's one skater out there, though. Yeah, and she said, well, yeah, there is such thing as shape-shifting energy. All right, we are officially crossed the highway, going across Evans. Usually it's way worse than this, but this is like the ghetto, basically. East bound and down on Berry, and this is like, they call it stop 6, basically, right? And so this is, I don't know why they call it stop 6. There's actually a real area that's called stop 6, but it's kind of the feel of stop 6. It's just a lot of, you know, a lot of vagrancy, people walking around, like talking to themselves, and well, I'm holding the camera and talking to myself, but you know, I usually turn everything off like this point, and then so we're gonna pick up this Wingstop. It's not too bad. It's not the greatest Wingstop, but it's not like it's a step down from the other Berry one that's off of Berry on 8th. It's usually where I kind of like turn everything off and then I turn it back on somewhere else. But I'm gonna, after I finish this one, I'll go back and get Kitty. But we're gonna get the Wingstop, drop it off, and drop off the warehouse. We just picked one out at the warehouse, and then we're headed back. All right, Wingstop on the way. 3.3 will arrive at 11:35 with the warehouse delivery. Stephen King has a very crazy writing schedule from like probably early in the morning, 4 hours of reading, then he goes on a walk. Not as long now, but he used to go on long walks. And then he would have a 4-hour writing time. Bukowski would write by 10 to 2, if I'm not mistaken. 10 to 2, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 4-hour period. And he would work at the post office. He was one of the greatest writers. Patterson was a serial writer. He became famous. And I got something right there. This is going on right here. Here's the time. And then we'll get the date for you on the radio right here.
Joshua Bell.
Oh, yeah, you will be able to see the date. it there. And that's the stop on that one. The other guy, you know, John Grisham was a lawyer, you know, and became famous, you know. I think I'm on the curb over there. What is going on with this road, man? It's like crickets, but lights. Look at this over here. Huh. Now there's another one right there. This all happens at one time. We're gonna see if we can get out of it. There is a tollway straight ahead to the right. I am with you all the way. The only thing is I don't know if that tollway splits, because I do not want to get on the tollway. This is exit only, exit 112B. So I don't see exit only 12B, and it says toll road. So I don't know for sure. I know that that goes through there, but I think it does hit you with the toll thing, and I don't want to deal with the toll stuff at all, dude. Shoot. Right. And I mean, this is like full on. And I saw it way back there too. He's gonna try to go to the toll, but I'm just wondering if there's a way to study it right here and to see what it does. I'm just wondering if it goes right onto the toll, which is basically, that's the toll. Right, I'll just do some editing right here and wait. It'll be done eventually. I think it's stopped traffic. It's fully stopped traffic. This must be a really bad collision. Like, it could be what they call fatality. Yeah, they got the MedStar way over here. The helicopter's not on its way, but I could just probably just chill and do some editing. And on the way back, get Kitty. I mean, to see Kitty, sorry. Oh. Keep it down this way so I can get that. It seems like they're standing in the median over here and these vehicles, but then there's something over there. Oh, that's not good. That's a serious one right there. That is pretty serious. That's a turned over vehicle. And that may be a fatality, and that's a lot of cops. Maybe 20. That's a big time. That may be a fatality. I don't know for sure. There wasn't a care flight, and I didn't see. The ambulance is way in the back. He might have survived it. I don't know. It was upside down, but that's what, maybe 15 cop cars. It's a lot of cop cars for just that. Then there's another one right here that looks like it's traffic going the other direction. At least they're trying to get something happen in the middle. Yeah, then they're right there. Yeah, they're directing traffic right there. It's like worse over there. That's crazy in both directions. Say goodnight, kitty. Good night, kitty. Here we go with today's kitty. One kitty, 9 lives. Each life has a number. Numbers 1 through 9. And swirl the cat food. And pick a cat food. Today's kitty's having fancy feast. Tuna feast and gravy. Come on, kitty. Let's get it. Now we're going to open this. We're going to let you just kind of have some of it. And we're going to go over here and get yourself a scoop of pure tuna heaven. There we go. That's a good kitty. That's a good kitty. Yes, you bird. Yes, you bird. Yes, you bird. And what am I having? Guacamole. I have some of the guacamole with these scrumptious, chewy chips. Good night. We're gonna try it more at this angle. Get ourselves a little chewy dip here, which is gonna be some of this. These chewy chips are really, really good. A little salty, but they're actually really, really good. Got some of that guac. Doing like a fast version of today's kitty is guacamole. Makes it strong. Chicken, cheese. We'll add the sour cream in a minute, as well as the guacamole. Right there. And if we're going to add additional taco, we're dealing with what's called economics and movement.